Lonnie, how you doing? All right. Thank you so much for submitting your work. I was just reading through your writing here. New to some of these programs utilizing this class. You're doing great, man. You're doing awesome. That's so cool. Um, you're somewhat familiar with Photoshop, very familiar with Lightroom. So you do your processing in Lightroom as opposed to Photoshop. I'm guessing Lightroom's fantastic. It's so fully capable. And Photoshop, of course, there's some things in Photoshop that we can't do in Lightroom but for regular processing, it doesn't surprise me that you're using Lightroom. Anything above and beyond any kind of specialty work, of course, we have to move into Photoshop. Illustrator is totally no experience in rebuilding that learning process. Awesome. The idea of my Christmas in July, I saw that. That's great. It's a great idea. And yeah, there's all sorts of Ohio events. Christmases in July, everywhere, every year. Sure, hoping to capture some of that Christmas spirit with a beat setting. I love the concept. I think it's fantastic. So let's go ahead and jump right into the ad. I think there's a few things that we can do that make the ad a little bit more visually engaging. So let's go ahead and start from the top. So you've got let's talk about the main image. And the main image is that background image. And that's such a cool image. It just tells the whole story. That's fantastic. The thing I'm having, and if you're using Lightroom and you're using your photography work and you're more than likely familiar with the rule of thirds. It's a compositional rule in photography. And the rule of thirds indicates that you take two lines and draw them and the horizontal equal distance on the vertical and the horizontal axis. Okay. And then where those two, one, two, and then one, two, evenly. And then where those elements intersect is a very, very interesting intersection to place images. We don't want to place images dead center. Dead center creates symmetry in negative space, and it just is not interesting to look at. If we pull those over to one of the third lines, it's going to be much more interesting. My recommendation is to reduce the size, zoom out of the background image, and then just set it over to the side so it's not dead center, maybe right there. Okay, now we're going to redistribute the Christmas ornaments. But anyway, so that's a little bit smaller and just over to the side just a little, so it's not dead center. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take headline, subhead, left align it, and make sure it's left aligned with the body copy. Okay, that can even indent a little bit, but left align that. All right, hat over here. Okay, logo, lower right-hand corner. It's a great exit strategy. The viewer's going to leave that portion of the page right there anyways. We might as well use it to reinforce our branding. Logo, lower right-hand corner. Watch my cursor, something like that. Okay, contact information, lower left-hand corner. You can experiment with color. You can add color here. Try adding some of the color, the corporate color to your type. We can clearly see how damaged these ornaments are. I had mentioned that in your submission for for that mask assignment 2-1, I had mentioned the quality of the Christmas ornaments. And we can really see that quality. It's very, very diminished right here. So I would recommend that we replace that with another masked image. Maybe something, now that you know how you can perfectly see your ad in your head, now you can really imagine what might work there. I don't think the Christmas ornaments are working. I don't think they're defined enough. I think they add more questions than supply answers. Okay, it's like, what the first thing I look at when I look at that is I'm just like, what the heck are those? It's just not really easy to understand. So maybe a different Christmas themed image where you can crop it out and maybe place it over down here above the address or something. But in essence, that's what we want to do. I think the background image can be adjusted just a little bit more, add a little bit more contrast. Not much. You don't want to lose detail in the shadow areas, but just a little bit more contrast in that background image. So in summary, I would recommend we replace the masked image. Okay, left align your type, headline, subhead, left align right there. Reduce the size of your body copy just a little bit. Zoom out the image, pull it over to the side a little bit so it's not dead center. Logo, lower right. Address lower left, and then maybe consider a new a new masked image, and I would place it down here somewhere just to kind of reinforce the promotion, as it were. All right, but other than that, I mean, don't get me wrong, this ad is perfectly functional right now as is. But I think there's some things that we can do to make it a little bit more visually engaging and redistribute that weight just a little bit. Okay, those are my recommendations. I'd like to see those recommendations addressed for your final submission. And if you want to run it by me between now and then, it's due in 2 weeks. It's due during week 7. I'm sorry. Yeah, 2 weeks. So it's coming up quickly. So if you want to make those changes, in a perfect world, you're done with your magazine ad before you start your banner ad. So let's work on the magazine ad, try to get that finalized. then you can start transposing into your banner head. Sound good? All right, fantastic. Great start. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. Thank you.